So one thing that can happen when we're laying out pages and designing them is boxes can sometimes resize when we're adding padding or borders or different things to that. So for example, let's say we have a box here, a parent container of specific sizes, 100 by 100, 200 by 200 maybe. And on the child, we're going to say that our child is going to be 100% wide, and you can see that that child fills that space. Now if I go ahead and I add a border of 10 pixels, I also add padding of 5 pixels, this child container now breaks outside of the parent. It's larger than we intended it to be. For example, if I had set this to specific width and then I put in some padding, this width actually goes wider than I intended it to be, if that makes sense. Maybe I have 3 boxes next to each other and each of them are 33.3% of the screen. Well, the second I add some padding to them or a border to them, all 3 don't equal 100% anymore. They equal maybe 105 or whatever more percent, and so they break out and they have problems. And so it's really difficult when we say that we want a child to be 100% wide and it can't because of the extra padding or because of a border or a margin or anything else like that. And you can see when I make this larger, it goes larger too. Did you see how that, even though the border went wider, the overall width went wider as well with it? Okay. Now, the solution to this is a tag called box sizing. And when we apply it to a box, it's going to take into account how wide it should be and maintain that the best it can. So when I go down here, you can now see the child container is going to be within that space. It's got 5 pixels padding above, on the sides and below, and it has a 10 pixel border. And so this border box is a really handy tag to apply to, for the most part, all selectors. Everything should really get this for the most part that I can think of. There's times where you might not want it to be, but often you do. And so rather than going through every single selector here, I'm going to use a new selector called the universal selector, and this means select everything, and I'm going to hit a box sizing border box. And when I go back to my page, it's going to treat everything the width that it's supposed to. I'll refresh it, and now that border box is applied. And again, this just helps out when I say something is going to be X pixels wide, it stays X pixels wide and doesn't break those, and really just kind of helps out with a lot of little problems that might crop up.